Okay, some big decisions in the NBA are going to be made this summer, and that is where Zach Lowe comes in. Zach, should the 76ers give the max to James Harden this offseason?
No, under no circumstances. If you're talking the 5-year fully guaranteed max, absolutely not. That went out the door a long time ago with his latest elimination game blunder. That's gone. Shorter term deal, please.
Okay, and let's see if he accepts that. Now, should the Pelicans give the rookie max extension to Zion Williamson?
Absolutely. Despite the injuries, you have to do it. He's that talented. I suspect they'll build in some injury-related protections or games played protections, just as the Sixers did with Joel Embiid before. But yeah, if you're the New Orleans Pelicans, small market, you bring back Zion, no doubt.
Okay, now here's the big one. Should the Nets give a max deal to Kyrie Irving?
Woo! Sounds easy to say no. Hard no. He doesn't deserve it. He hasn't earned it. He never plays. But you do risk some discomfort or alienation with KD, a DEFCON 1 scenario of a trade request from KD. I still, though, say no. Find a middle ground that makes sense for everybody, a shorter-term deal.
Okay, no with caveats. And by the way, Kyrie put out this, not put out, but he's got a reported trade wish list, including both LA teams, the Lakers, the Clippers, as well as the crosstown Knicks, the Heat, the Mavericks, and mind-bogglingly also the 76ers. None of those teams have enough cap space to sign him without Brooklyn's help, and sources said some of them aren't interested in acquiring him. Okay, so Woj, you were leading the charge on this story, that list. As you look at that list, does this make any sense to you? How do you process this?
Well, listen, part of this is a negotiation. He has wanted that long-term max deal in Brooklyn. It is not available to him there. I think the one team with the most interest in Kyrie Irving are the Lakers. There's really not a sign-and-trade scenario with Brooklyn that makes sense. Of course, if the Lakers wanted to offer Anthony Davis in a sign-and-trade, of course the Nets would love that. That's not, but that's not going to happen. And so if you're Kyrie Irving, your way to get to the Lakers, very likely, would be to opt out of your contract next week and sign the $6 million exception that the Lakers would have available. Now, the difference between that and his opt-in with the Nets is over $30 million. They could clear cap space the next year. They would have Russell Westbrook potentially coming off their cap and sign you to a more lucrative long-term deal if things work out. But in most cases, you would say a player's not going to do that. He's not going to give up that much money. But Kyrie Irving did give up about $17 million last year in salary by not getting vaccinated. Perhaps really impacted the loss of a shoe deal with the fact that he's been so unavailable. So with him, I don't think you say that won't happen, that'll never happen. But I think that list in terms of teams like Dallas, Philadelphia, the Clippers, I don't think there's interest there. The Knicks, they have some priorities well ahead of Kyrie Irving. Jalen Brunson is what, with Dallas, is who they are trying to clear cap space to sign in free agency, not Kyrie Irving right now.
Wow, but I can't see them turning down Kyrie if there's a possibility, because the Knicks seem to love that superstar talent. So, Zach, I look at this list, which just has me mind blown. Which team on that list, on that trade list, do you think is his best fit?
Well, let's be clear. Uncertainty is Kyrie Irving's leverage right now. Uncertainty about Durant and uncertainty about his option. The minute on paper he opts in for next year, if he does, he would seem to relinquish some control to the Nets, who could just keep him. But he may say, I'm only opting in on the condition that you have a prearranged trade to one of these other teams. As for fits, I agree with Woj. The Lakers would obviously love to have him. Is there a 3-team trade where Russ somehow goes back to Oklahoma City in a salary dump? That seems complicated. The Knicks are an obvious fit if they think the Brunson situation isn't going to work out. Dallas may just outbid them for Jalen Brunson. We'll see. On paper, not in real life, but on paper, I've always liked the Dallas fit for him as the sort of theoretical secondary ball handler, jump shooter around Luka. But I just feel like coming off a conference finals run, as Woj indicated, I feel like that kind of ship has sailed for the Mavericks. I don't see much there. And as for the other teams, they got a lot of other things to sort out. Obviously, there's huge questions about Kyrie Irving's reliability. That said, if he's healthy, the reason he was out last year was the vaccination mandate. That's gone. That's a non-issue. If he tells people, hey, look, I can get you 60, 65 games, that's possible. Who knows?
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.